It's January 2019, and in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the best of my collection, what they're worth, and some of my personal favorites. I'm going to use this video as a comparable so that in January 2020, I'm going to look at my collection there and compare it to today. So come along with me, and I'm going to show you guys some great stuff. I want to put a timeline on my collection, so this way you guys know how long I've been collecting for. When I was 10 years old, it was 1995. So the early to mid 90s is when I started to read comics, get introduced into comics, and just read basically anything I could. The comic store that I would mostly go to was Red Nails, and that was inside of a mall. So every time my parents would go there, they would drop me off at the comic store. I would spend so much time looking at the Spawn covers, looking at the Pit. I remember the Pit and the Max. I used to love that artwork. It was so detailed, and that's like really nostalgic for me nowadays. Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, all the comic books there, and the t-shirts, and the statues, and the toys. That's how I really got into comic books. Let's fast forward to year 2000. I'd say it was early 2000s, so I was just started my part-time job at a grocery store, and lo and behold, a comic store opened up right next door. Before my shift, I would be there for a half hour. After my shift, I'd be there for a couple hours. Buy all my stuff off of him. I got a majority of my keys there, as well as eBay. eBay started probably in 2005 when I was about around 20 years old. Around 2007, I was working one day and we were talking about comic books. And one of my coworkers, he's an older guy, and he said, I got 2 giant-size X-Men's at home. I'm like, what? Bring them in. Let me take a look at them. He's like, no, I'm not gonna bring them in. I'm like, oh, you have to bring them in. I was excited. I wanted to see them. He ends up bringing them in the next day, and he's got 2 of them. One is a beautiful high-grade copy, and the other one is like a mid-grade. What would you want for it? And he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to sell it. I'm like, why? Sell it. You have 2 of them, so I'll buy one off of you. And he said, okay, give me $200 for it. I said, I'm not gonna pay you $200. The high grade one is $200. He's like, no, not the high grade one. He said, I'll take $200 for this one. I knocked him down. It took about 20 minutes to knock him down to $125. So I was so happy, and that's Canadian, by the way. Giant Size X-Men #1. This book has huge significance in Marvel continuity. Issue 93 was the last reprinted issue. After that, this book came out, and this book showcased a new team. And issue 94 on, it always featured the new current lineup of X-Men. And what an amazing team it is. Incredible Hulk. Number 181. This is the first appearance of James Howlett, Weapon X, Patch, Logan, Wolverine. This book was printed in 1974, and it's by Herb Trimpe and Len Wein. I bought it from my local comic shop in 2007, and I paid $400 for it. The 9.8 value on this book right here is $20,000, but this isn't a 9.8. It's very hard to come across 9.8s. In this condition, which is around a 6 or a 7, is around $2,500. That's a pretty good return, but I don't think I'm selling this. Werewolf by Night, number 32. First appearance of Moon Knight. For all my Moon Knight fanatics out there, this is one of the first books that I bought on eBay. There's a lot of emphasis on collecting key issues these days, and back when I bought my Werewolf by Night number 32, it wasn't a prominent book. It wasn't a book that you would see very often. It wasn't a hot book at all. The only reason why I have it is because I was interested in Moon Knight. Back in the day before the emphasis on first appearances, people didn't really go after them. People went after runs. That was basically when I collected. Well, this is my Bible. This is what I followed when I was going on eBay. This is the Marvel, I think it's called Series 1. These are cards from 1990. When I was collecting comics on eBay, there wasn't a database of first appearances. Wikipedia, I don't even think had it. Either way, I didn't know where to find it. This collection from when I was a kid was my route to getting first appearances. If you look at the back of all these cards, it says first appearance. And this is Silver Surfer, so it says Fantastic Four 48, 1966. Oh, and there's also a drawing that I did when I was like 7 years old. So yeah, that came in handy. As you can tell, there's no order in which I'm showing these, and this is the crown jewel. Amazing Spider-Man, #1. 1963, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Ah, bask in its glory. This book has so much Marvel significance that it's insane. This is his first title, this is his first issue, and this is the beginning of his whole story. Isn't that amazing? That's a piece not only of Marvel history, but our own history. What's there not to love? You got the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Fantastic Four, #48. This is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. Two of the greatest comic characters. Arguably the greatest comic characters. The 9.8 value on this is about 25 to 30,000. It's because it's an older book, and finding a 9.8 would be crazy. My value on this is about 4,000. It's a very hot book. Spider-Man, #129. The first appearance of the Punisher. Crazy cover on that, crazy cover. I've always loved this cover. It's the yellow, it's the red, it's so beautiful, it just mixes together so well. This book carries so much significance because the Punisher has just caught on so much with the Netflix series and his appearances on cartoons, his appearances everywhere. He was always a big deal. The 9.8 value is about 12,000. My value, probably 3 or 4. Moon Knight, #1 by Bill Sienkiewicz and Doug Moench. This is a signature series comic book, means that it was witnessed when Bill Sienkiewicz was signing his name and making his little remark. He made a little Moon Knight right there. One of my personal favorites in my collection. I'm a big Moon Knight fan. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful grade. I never met Bill Sienkiewicz. I really wish I had, but I got this through a follower of mine on Moon Knight Life who got into some money problems, and he was willing to sell it. So I made him an offer and we made the deal on it. It was a fair deal and we're both happy. I think I'm a little happier than he is though. Fantastic Four, #52. First appearance of T'Challa, the Black Panther, by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. This continues that beautiful run by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It's one of the best runs in comic books, the longest runs in comic books. As an avid comic reader, I love that a writer and an illustrator could go on such a long run and come out with such fantastic stories. I bought this book before the movie hype. I bought this book with the first appearance of Iron Fist because I noticed that the Punisher and those other key issues were going up so high. I wanted to get ahead of the curve, and I invested in this and Marvel Premiere #15, and I bought them both combined for I remember it was $400, but I don't remember how the breakdown was. I think this was $300 and the Iron Fist was $100. Honorable mentions: X-Men 94, X-Men 266, and X-Men 21, Ghost Rider 5, Special Marvel Edition 15, Tomb of Dracula 10, Tales to Astonish 93, Star Wars #1, New Teen Titans 2, Tales of Teen Titans 44, Marvel Premiere 15, Silver Surfer #4, Ms. Marvel 1, New Mutants 87, Ms. Marvel 18, my New Mutants, there we go, New Mutants 98, Batman #1, Superman number 1, Showcase 4, and Showcase 22. Like and subscribe.